Okay, make this work here. Flip this around. This down here. Okay, we're gonna go through this video. Good morning. And let's see here. It's I can also code and fix things as we do this here. Cursor app. Cursor. All right, good morning. It's dark here. Why is the cursor not coming up? There's cursor. All right. Good morning. It's morning time. It is 6 a.m. in the morning here in Japan. We're going to go over this video by this guy right here. I actually haven't watched it yet, but this guy was basically was military police in charge, ran in Afghanistan, right? He worked for the Inspector General's office against, police and federal abuses. He's an investigator, and he is going to go through this video. It's really important, right? I have a number of questions, and I don't know about you, and there's behavior in this video which is really, really odd, right? These are custom border patrol agents. They do not have jurisdiction, right, more than 100 miles from the border. That's their charter, their jurisdiction. The people who killed this guy, right, don't have jurisdiction. So let's watch a little bit of this here as this guy does.
Operating in Minneapolis have shot and killed a U.S. citizen. And while that alone is disturbing, the video footage of the shooting is irrefutably cold-blooded murder. And what's even more, another insane layer to this, is the White House's reaction. Now, before you tune off and go, oh, this is some liberal lunatic, you may notice, for those of you that are new to the channel, behind me are a large number of military awards. That's because I served in Afghanistan as a platoon leader of a military police platoon. So believe it or not, I have a unique background in both law enforcement and even combat operations with real-world experience to back it up. I also have 7 years in the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General's office doing essentially internal affairs investigations. So I actually know what I'm talking about. And seeing this stuff, it is deeply disturbing to me. So let me break down the fundamental problems I have with this shooting, and then we're going to compare the video that we see.
Say it, JS. How you doing, brother? Good morning.
Administration claims has happened, and we're going to see if we can do so and keep our sanity. So let's break this down. Again, the video is becoming increasingly hard to find unedited, but we're going to do a couple of things. So let's start with this one. This is probably one of the earliest segments of the confrontation that I can find. It's filmed from a passing car. The person shot Alex Peretti, and I'm deliberately choosing words so that you are less likely to be biased. This is something that a relatively impartial investigator would do, that the shooter and shooting victim.
So Peretti is the auditor. He's an auditor, right? Doing his job. He doesn't have a gun out. He has a camera out. It's up to his face, and he's filming this guy. Behind him are two other individuals. Let's just go through this. It's really important that people understand that what happened and what the government is saying is just completely insane. It's completely insane, right? So understand, this is the setup. This is showing you what he's doing. He is completely obeying the law. He's doing nothing wrong, right? And that the instigation is started by the illegal police. Understand, these are border patrol individuals that don't have authority more than 100 miles from the border. I mean, it's in their charter, right? So they've been federalized, I guess, as part of ICE. So I don't know what mandate has given them, and on this here, and we got some music. We have music on Discord.
Or man who was shot is what you might say in a report. So this is the man who is shot in the video. His name is Alex Peretti. He's a registered nurse at the Veterans Affairs Hospital in Minneapolis. And for context, he has a legal permit, a concealed carry permit. So he has a firearm on his person right now that is legal in the United States, legal in the state of Minnesota. So let's take a look. You can see here, he appears to be holding a cell phone and speaking with an individual wearing a multicam plate carrier, likely an ICE officer.
He's actually border patrol.
That there is some kind of ICE operation taking place.
It's not. Just for clarification, these were not ICE. These were border patrol. These do not have jurisdiction. So number one, these individuals were in violation of their jurisdiction.
The street, but this agent, another officer, excuse me. Here's the problem. Also, the fact that all of these guys are wearing civilian clothes continues to bother me because ICE has officers and Border Patrol has agents, and the distinction is not meaningless. They have very different legal authorities.
These are agents.
Again, neither of them involve enforcement actions.
These are agents
against U.S. citizens, certainly, and no law enforcement officer of the government has the authority to simply arrest or detain citizens merely for filming. That's protected by the First Amendment, which ensures freedom of the press. So you can see these agents get out. They seem to be speaking to Mr. Peretti, and they put a hand in his chest and begin to push him back towards the sidewalk. Again, this may be ICE officers. Again, I'm going to refer to them as ICE officers. I'm not actually sure
they're agents
ICE or Border Patrol.
They're Border Patrol
because of the lack of identification. But they push him back towards the sidewalk.
We know they're agents, stating, so this guy doesn't know what they are.
You can't be in the street. This is interfering with an operation. And he complies. You see him walking backwards onto the sidewalk, following their gentle shove, we'll say. Now, let's cut to the next video I could see. Here is a slow motion video covering more of the events. So you can see now, Peretti has been pushed back to the sidewalk. The object in his hand, very clearly a phone. And you can see here is another protester who is accompanying Peretti. Peretti appears to be trying to hold her steady on the sidewalk due to the slipperiness. Now, here the officer shoves a person. Peretti steps in between him and a woman, and you can see the officer discharges his what we in the military called OC spray. Mace. Now, I want to add an important piece of context here. Being sprayed with OC spray or pepper spray or mace, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to use OC spray because that's the term, the technical term we used in the military. And it is an extremely disorienting experience. It is effectively blinding. It is extremely painful, and it is required, in fact, to carry it in most law enforcement agencies, including in the Department of Defense, within the military police corps. You have to get sprayed with it in order to carry it. So you understand both what you are doing to people, but also if the discharge, the irritant, comes back at you, you have to understand the cognitive effects of it so that you aren't crippled by it. And when we did the training, again, you can, if you are prepared and focused and lock in, you can remain oriented enough to protect yourself, protect your equipment, continue to operate. But you have to do so with a certain level of training. You have to get some course.
The thing is, though, let me turn the light on since it's so dark here. The thing is that the court in Minnesota has ruled that the use of pepper spray, right, in people's faces, right, and I think they did. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just discharge of. Was illegal. They couldn't just pepper spray people for filming. Let's ask AI, see if they know. See if it knows. I want you to deep dive into Minnesota legal cases on the use of pepper spray and irritants on protesters.
Looking into Minnesota pepper spray cases. Yeah, so the big
I interrupted it. I hate it when I do that.
Yeah, the main cases in Minnesota on police using pepper spray, tear gas, and other chemical irritants against protesters stem from the 2020 George Floyd protests. The big one is the ACLU's class action lawsuit against the city of Minneapolis. They sued over cops firing rubber bullets, flashbangs, and chemical agents like pepper spray and tear gas at peaceful protesters. It settled in 2022 for $600,000 split among a dozen injured folks, plus a court-enforced injunction that basically bans the city from using chemical irritants or less lethal projectiles on people just lawfully protesting or assembling, only allowed in very specific situations to disperse crowds. Then there's Goyette versus City of Minneapolis, focused on journalists getting targeted, pepper sprayed, shot with munitions, even when clearly marked as press. That led to temporary restraining orders against State Patrol and others in 2020 and 2021, plus settlements, $825,000 from Minnesota State Patrol with policy changes to protect journalists, and nearly $1 million from the city side later on. Parts against MPD went toward trial, but lots resolved with payouts and reforms. No huge statewide rulings banning it outright across Minnesota, but these federal cases set precedents that indiscriminate use on peaceful crowds violates First and Fourth Amendment rights. More recent stuff in 2026 is about federal ICE agents using irritants on immigration protests, with injunctions and appeals, but that's separate from state local police on the 2020 stuff.
Yeah, tell us about the federal usage, and also tell us about Border Patrol and how can Border Patrol, who have jurisdiction like 100 miles from the border, are able to operate in Minnesota?
Hang on, digging into the latest on this.
Hang on. You gotta love AI. Wait a minute. Let me.
So, the recent federal stuff is way different from 2020. It's happening right now in January 2026, tied to this massive Trump admin immigration crackdown in the Twin Cities. They sent like 2,000 agents, a mix of ICE and Border Patrol, for what's called the biggest interior enforcement op ever. Protests kicked off big time after federal agents shot and killed a couple U.S. citizens during operations. And things escalated, with agents using tear gas, pepper spray, pepper balls, flashbangs on crowds of protesters and observers. Videos show agents spraying pinned down people point blank, throwing canisters, all that. ACLU sued quick, and on January 16th, a federal judge issued an injunction basically saying no more chemical irritants or arrests on peaceful protesters, called it retaliation violating First Amendment rights. But just days later, the Eighth Circuit Appeals Court paused that injunction while the feds appeal. So right now, those restrictions are on hold, and clashes are still going on, including another fatal shooting yesterday. On Border Patrol specifically, people mix them up with ICE a lot. ICE handles interior immigration enforcement nationwide. No geographic limits. They can operate anywhere in the U.S., including deep inland like Minnesota. Border Patrol is part of CBP and mainly focuses on between ports of entry at the actual borders. But they do have that 100-mile zone rule, giving them extra powers for stops and checkpoints near borders. Minnesota's nowhere near that, way over 1,000 miles from Canada or Mexico. So regular Border Patrol ops wouldn't normally happen here. But in this surge, they've deployed Border Patrol agents anyway to assist ICE with the interior raids and crowd control. And reports even have Border Patrol commanders on the ground and agents involved in the shootings and use of force. It's all under DHS umbrella for this joint operation.
There you have it. All right. So there is a ruling. It got upheld by the appeals court, which is bullshit. So you can blame the appeals court, right? What's going on right now? You know, our court system in Nazi Germany, there was two branches of legal work. There was like, quote, the, oh, everyday law shit. And then there is the, oh, what we can fucking do and get away with. And we're seeing this, right? It's the predicate and the other, well, I can't remember what it is. In Nazi Germany, they had two legal systems, one for the ordinary people, the other one, I think it was called the predicate, and the other one, tell us about it really briefly.
In Nazi Germany, they basically ran a dual system. One regular courts for civilians, but the big shift was creating special ones like the People's Court, or Volksgerichtshof. Set up in 1934 after the Night of the Long Knives, it handled political crimes, treason, high treason, stuff against the regime. Handled by Nazi loyalists like Roland Freisler, it was a kangaroo court. No real defense, rigged trials, mass executions. Verdicts were showbiz, not justice. Think propaganda with a gavel. Over 5,000 death sentences dished out by war's end.
That's coming. All right, that's coming. This is what I think is how I think things are going to play out. Good morning, Cindy. How things are going to play out. Things are going to play out like this. All right. I think they're going to wait for the Insurrection Act, and they're going to do the Insurrection Act within weeks of the election. They're going to get things so fucking bad in America. This is all part of the plan. What they're doing is all part of the plan. All right. I saw you, JS, with the music on. We'll get that on. This is what I think they're going to do. Right. I've been right. I've pretty much been right on everything. Right. Let's just point out my track record. I was the first channel to go out and call these bitches Nazis over a year ago. I said that this was a referendum on democracy. I used the term, I coined the term USA Brexit as an exit from democracy. This is a fascist takeover, a Nazi takeover, was screaming at all these fucking left-wing commentators, everything from, Midas Touch and everything else, that they should be framing this as in the political framing, that this is a referendum against our government system, instead of just reporting on this shit, telling people that this is a vote. If you vote for fucking Trump, you're voting for Nazis. You're voting for fucking fascists. So the thing is, fascist is too loaded a word, really, for the ordinary person to understand. And that is why I chose to use the word Nazi. Plus, if you look at the parallels between how Hitler was elected, Trump used the same, terms, like the big lie comes from Nazi Germany. Attacking the deep state comes from Nazi Germany. The whole attack on the deep state and all this stuff and the corruption, Hitler used all of the same ploys, and ultimately, we're seeing now him just copying the playbook. We literally have Nazi Gestapo, right? The federal government has become Nazi Gestapo, going around targeting individuals who are just maintaining and fighting for their constitutional rights of peaceful protest, to speak up against tyranny. The whole reason for the Second Amendment is this. We're seeing the reason for the Second Amendment, and that now that all these right-wing individuals have gone and have just basically surrendered the Constitution, right? They've surrendered the Constitution and have aligned themselves with this fascistic state. And now we see the second murder. And again, I said that this was going to happen as a white swan event. I said American citizens were going to be killed by ICE, and it will take the killing of these individuals for change to usher in. Unfortunately, the murder of these individuals is what's going to take. And we're seeing this unfold right now. We're seeing the unfolding, because this event, as this guy's going to go through, is so well filmed. It is so well filmed. It is so obvious that this guy wasn't doing anything wrong. He was an auditor. He was a nurse in an ICU, right? He takes care of people who are about to die, right? He knows how to administer, crucial care. And he's out there witnessing, maybe out there because maybe if he would have been there when, I'm sure this is his mentality. This would be my mentality. Gosh, if I would have been out there when Nicole Good was shot, maybe I could have saved her. This is the type of guy you need. You get shot by ICE, you need Alex. That's who you want. I mean, the nurses are the ones that do most of the work. They go in there and this is an ICU nurse who deals with trauma. So this ICU nurse is out there, plus armed, right? Legally armed with a proper concealed permit. His triage skill. Thank you for the word triage skill. So I'm sure this nurse was thinking to himself, gosh, if I was there, maybe I could have saved her. Maybe I can save someone. And here are these thugs, these Nazi Gestapos, they come up and you see, if you watch the videos, right, you see the guy shoving the woman, all right, violently shoving the woman. And she actually puts her arm around Alex. He, is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's filming, trying to de-escalate. The guy is trying to de-escalate the situation. He's not trying to provoke this. He's just filming illegal behavior. He's filming these Nazis, right? He's not escalating. And anyone who says that anyone who says that it was violent, a terrorist, it's just sickening. Because obviously you haven't looked at the video. Obviously, you are just believing pundits saying nonsense. It's horrific. And yeah, we've got music to deal with. With that, let's take a moment here. We got some new music. I want to do a shout out for JS. We have some new music. The way we deal with the trauma in this channel is, we sing about it. Well, since we can't sing. We got 0102. 0102 is an amazing musician. There's 0102, right? That's AI system, right? There I am. There's 0102. Let's hear a song. Let's hear some new music. If you want, you go to Raving Antifa. Raving Antifa. Shout out Raving Antifa if you need music to deal with this. Yeah. On that, we have a bunch of new music out here. I'm trying to think what was done. I think this one here. Here's some music here. I don't have my speaker. My speaker's in the car. Why didn't it open up? Should open up. I have that same error. Like I try to open it up and it doesn't open it up. I don't know why it's not doing that. All right, I'll just do it's on the web, playing on the web. How's everyone doing? I got the stupid camera in the side motion. Let me, as you're doing that. All right.
On what you'll experience. And for most people who are pepper sprayed, in order to continue to operate, they actually have to peel their eyes open physically with their hand in order to continue to see. You still have just your tears in overdrive. What I want you guys to understand is every subsequent video you see, Alex is unbelievably disoriented and effectively blinded. Is effectively blinded, right? And in extreme pain. Right? So you can see here, Alex is turning away. He's not a threat. Again, the only thing we've observed Alex doing so far is filming with his phone and complying with an officer's directions to get back. So the officer sprays him, actually swats his hand down and continues, even as he turns away. Pepper spray is not really meant for this. It's not a compliance tool. It is a less lethal tool to ensure, to give officers a opportunity to use a tool that isn't lethal force to protect themselves. But protect themselves from what? That is unclear. Clearly, Alex has turned away, and the officer continues to shove his mace into Alex's face and spray it. At this point, Alex is blind and in extreme pain. He collapses or falls, appears to slip on the ice, and the ICE agents begin to swarm on Alex. Now, this individual in the gray coat, I think it's worth noting.
Really important.
This individual is identified later as an ICE agent. But again, in the footage that we see, he has almost none of it. There really is very difficult to see who this person is. Now, here is some stabilized video of subsequent parts of the confrontation. So Alex is on the ground, his shirt has been hiked up, and it reveals that there is a holstered firearm here. Now, again, the Second Amendment and repeated case law going up to the Supreme Court says that it's completely authorized. But what's important is that Alex's hands are on the ground. He is on his knees. The weapon is holstered. And we observed that even as he was being pepper sprayed, he was holding his phone, he was turning his hand away, never going for his waistband. So, again, let's continue to look.
All right. So, and he's not mentioning the guy is grabbing his gun. This gray guy right up here, you see this gray guy, that guy right there, you see him coming in, right? This guy sees he has a gun, and that's why he's probably starting to go for his gun. He's like, oh, he's got a gun. And that's probably what he says, gun, right? That's probably where the first time they say gun, even though his hands are out front, are being held, he's getting pummeled by a bunch of guys, right? And this guy here, this ICE agent, right, reaches in, grabs the fucking gun, and scoots off. And you can see that in a subsequent video, right, on this here. Continue watching here.
So, what did we just observe? You observed that one agent actually doing the appropriate thing. When you observe a gun and you're detaining a suspect, you, as the officer or agent, officer, get control of the firearm immediately. So they get positive control of the weapon. It's holstered, it's remaining holstered, the agent has it. The other agent draws his firearm. Now, so far, neither of these interactions are inappropriate, right? Securing a weapon, telling other agents there's a weapon present, and drawing your firearm to say, hey, we already moved through pepper spray. Now I'm going to draw my firearm, as that's kind of the next level up. And it's not required, by the way, guys. You don't have to pepper spray someone before using applying lethal force. You, as an officer, you always have the right to protect yourself and the lives of others. But that is the thing I want you to keep in mind here. This man is on the ground. The firearm is secured. And then, observe, this is key. The probably officer,
ICE agent,
in the gray coat has secured the weapon. The weapon is secured. It has been pulled out from Alex. Alex's hands never touch the weapon because he is on the ground. He is blind. He's on the ground. He's disoriented. And he is completely unarmed. And after the firearm has been removed from Alex, he is shot.
looks like
The firearm is secured.
it looks to me that the guy in the back that saw the guy remove the gun, let me turn the light on again. Doesn't it look to you like it was the guy that pulled out his gun first, shot him? Because he was the first one with his gun out. We hear a gunshot. So there's two choices, right? It was the guy with the gun who pulled his gun out. Fucking either he had a hairline trigger and shot Alex, or it was the guy leaving with the gun fired. Yes, he did. He was staring down at the guy removing the gun. But it seems like that the guy who pulled out his gun first. Yes, hands. So there's only 2 guns out at this stage. When we hear that one shot, the first shot, there is 2 guns out. There is the guy who draws because he sees the gun being removed by the other agent, right? And then there's the agent who removed the gun that's holding the gun. So which one? So number one is which one fired first? Which one fired first? Was it the? I think it, from this video here, I think it was the guy who removed his gun first. The guy in the green. I agree, Hans. It was like the guy in the green pulled his gun out. The other guy moved his gun. He moved around and shot, right, Alex as he was on the ground. Shot him. The other agents, right, because they're not ICE, backed up. You see the other guys pulling out their gun, and they fucking 2 guys unload 5 shot. They just fucking unload on the guy. You know, they just murdered him. Cold blood fucking murder. That's how I see it. Let's see how this guy says what he thinks happened here.
The agent draws his weapon. This is the thing to take away. Look, the weapon is secured. This agent observes Alex's weapon being removed.
Yes.
He observes Alex's weapon being removed from him. The agent is looking right at the gun, right? He watches another agent secure the firearm.
Oh, God damn it. I hate this. I'm trying to get this. Hold on.
We observe, look, there he is. There it is, right? We're talking about a non-trivial amount of time has passed, right? And then Alex's weapon is gone. The agent in full view of the weapon. It's not like the agent doesn't know where the weapon is. The weapon has been removed from Alex. Points his gun at the back of Alex's head and pulls the trigger.
Wow.
Alex staggers briefly. A second shot's fired. And Alex is killed.
Holy shit. I didn't know he was shot in the back of the head.
Understand that at no point did you see that man attempt to go for a firearm. At no point did the firearm leave the holster under the control of anyone other than an officer or agent, whoever they were, right? And the agent that fired the weapon knew that Alex was disarmed. I want you to understand that if, as a soldier in Afghanistan, in a literal war zone, if I disarm an enemy combatant, not a civilian, not a protester, an enemy combatant, a literal Taliban member, and I get them on their hands and knees, and I get control of the weapon, and I remove it from them, and then I shoot them.
The back of the head.
I am going to fucking jail because I am a war criminal, right? And that is under the law of war, of combat, okay? If I killed Afghan civilians in this manner, I think my own soldiers would have arrested me. This is straight murder. There is no defense of this. I have none. Right? Perhaps a good lawyer could get this guy down to manslaughter to say, I didn't know the guy in the gray coat. I thought maybe he was a protester. Why are you firing your gun at the guy who's been disarmed? You should fire your weapon, discharge your service weapon at the person who just is now armed. This is insane. But now I want you to understand, I want you to listen to the official statement by the Secretary of Homeland Security on what they claim has happened here.
This individual showed up to impede a law enforcement operation and is...
Okay.
That's a lie.
True.
That's
Not
a lie.
Just you and I just observed that person complying with that officer's directions as he pushed them back to the other side of the street. He was on the other side of the street of the operation, right? The officers pepper sprayed him after he appeared to step in front of him to film. But again, The officer was the one who initiated contact. Alex acquiesced, was pushed back on the street. This is absolutely false. He absolutely complied with the officer's directions.
Assaulted our officer.
Again, we observed that Alex did not assault the officer. The officer pepper sprayed Alex repeatedly.
They responded according to their training.
Their training does not tell them. I promise. I can't speak. I can only speak for the fact that I attended the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia, the same training center where a large portion of ICE agents are trained, and that I covered some. As an inspector, handled a lot of use of force policies for ICE. I have not been to ICE's academy, so I can't say exactly what they are trained on. And that academy has also been revised heavily since I've left the federal government, so I can't speak to that. But what I can say is that there is no law enforcement agency I have ever heard of in this country, nor is there any military unit in the United States military that tells you that after you have disarmed someone, it is appropriate to shoot them
In the back of the head.
once they no longer pose a threat.
Yeah,
to you.
murdered them. It was an
That is just
assassination.
not the case. Not when you have numbers, not when they are on the ground. Some agencies may tell you, hey, if you're a 96-pound female cop and it's a 300-pound bodybuilder and he's on top of you throwing fists, yeah, you can use lethal force to protect yourself. Not to a downed, controlled, incapacitated subject who has been disarmed.
And took action to defend the officer's life and those of the public around him. And I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign.
Okay, this is, again, not true at all. One, because the official government stance is that everyone who was armed on January 6th was a peaceful protester. So she herself isn't even consistent with her lies. But also, the Second Amendment absolutely allows him to do so. He was absolutely allowed to do that under Minnesota law. And even those January 6th protesters, when they were outside the Capitol, they were completely within their rights to be armed. Some of them had some problems with DC law and magazine capacity and stuff, but the general principle was that they were fine. It wasn't until they, trespassed into the Capitol building and until they assaulted cops that they became criminals. Right. So
This channel came up on me. Right. Someone just asked who this guy. This guy is. He used to work for the Inspector General's office investigating crime. He was in the military, platoon leader in the military. Right. Here's his channel, just so you can write it down. Combat Veteran News. Combat Veteran News. Right. So this is a niche channel to combat veterans, right? And he's applying his expertise to it. So there you go. Combat Veteran News is his channel, right? Shout out to him. It just came on. I'm watching it for the first time with you guys on that, but he does a really good job breaking it down. I didn't realize that the guy in the green executed him by basically shooting him in the back of the head. He literally shot him in the back. The guy moved away, right? They say gun, and the guy just shot him in the back of the head. Clear. I mean, it doesn't get any more clear case murder than that, right?
She's unable to keep her own lies consistent.
This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with...
Did you observe violence from Alex?
No.
Did you observe violence from Alex?
No.
At any point, did Alex commit any violence against those officers?
No, had his hands up.
Weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement.
Okay, did Alex at any point use the firearm to assault a law enforcement officer?
No.
Did he ever draw it?
No.
And we watched the video. The
No.
only person who touched Alex's weapon in that entire interaction was the officer.
And that's exactly like Nazi Germany. Understand. You have to understand. You have to understand. That's exactly what Hitler did. This is exactly what Putin did. They're going to frame the Second Amendment is only for Trump supporters, right? If you are a supporter of the KKK, if you're a supporter of of fascism, then you get to carry a gun. If you're the Black Panthers, right? If you are a minority, minorities don't get guns. Blacks don't get guns. Anyone who doesn't support the administration can't get guns. This is exactly what Putin did. Putin did this, Erdogan did this. It's like, oh, guns are only for our supporters. If you're not our supporter, you don't get guns, right? So, but this is going to change now. I'm predicting now, as we move forward, you're going to see. I think you're going to see gun violence against ICE. I really do, which is unfortunate because we don't want that. We're just giving ammunition to we need people to be, unfortunately, to be more sacrificial lambs out there if we're going to change things. Hopefully this is enough, but the more murder they do, the more video, we need more people videotaping and everything else, because as the American people are I mean, I think that this is so obviously an assassination that they can't get away from their lies, right? They can't get away. This lie here. I mean, they that they didn't even have a case, but she was in a car, he was kind of in front. That's one thing. But in this one here, right? We should go. I mean, it's like these individuals. I should go to the TikTok and listen to these fuckturds like respond. It's really sad. What didn't Ham say? I'm on the stupid side screen. I'm reading what Ham said. Ham goes, on the forum you fill out when you buy a gun is as male, female, non-binary. If you mark non-binary, you are flagged and can't buy a weapon. Really? I didn't know that either. So when you buy a gun, they ask you male, female, and non-binary. So they don't let people. What isn't non-binary? Oh, okay. They think you have a mental case. Wow, I didn't know that at all. So on that. Not Christian, no guns. Yeah, he's going to do something. Non-identifying gender. So we're going to see, think about it. If you are a Second Amendment person and you have concealed carry and an ICE officer fucking comes towards you, right? Are you going to be the next Alex? Are you going to let them assassinate, take you out? Or are you just going to draw and fucking shoot? I mean, I think the only thing, unfortunately, it's kind of like a dog that shits in your house. The only thing that is going to stop this shit is for the response to this. Unfortunately, I don't believe in violence, but it's kind of like a dog. A dog is going to keep shitting in your house, keep pissing on your carpet, unless you rub its nose in the shit, right, or in the piss. And I really feel, and I think this, so I know if I'm thinking this, then tens of thousands of individuals are thinking this too, right? And they're at a point where if you're in a situation and you are armed and you are threatened or assaulted, at what point do you defend yourself? What point do you legally defend yourself from the illegal, spraying, from the illegal assault, right? And and then when that happens, then maybe the assault will stop happening. I mean, do you think that if an ICE officer goes and starts pushing on a protester and the motherfucker gets shot, do you think he's going to do that again? Do you think other ICE officers are going to do that again when they illegally attack someone who is just fucking standing there, right? And I think this is where the Black Panthers come in, The Black Panthers come in because they're standing there with fucking guns, right? They're standing there with bigger guns than what they have. And I think this is where that you're going to see now. You're going to see people openly brandishing long guns right next to people with cameras and stuff like that. Okay? And and I think you're seeing that now. I think you're seeing now a Second Amendment. You're going to see people. If I lived in America right now, I would be buying a gun. I don't know about you. I would be buying. You have individuals right now like me who don't believe in guns buying guns to protect themselves, right? Buying guns out there, because if I was in America, that's what I'd be doing right now is buying a gun. I'd be buying a fucking AR, on that. So let's continue hearing this guy out.
This is insane. This is an insane level of... It is... The only thing more insane is the president's actual statement. He says, the gunman's gun loaded and ready to go. What was that all about? One, Alex is not a gunman because he didn't draw the gun. A gunman has to use the gun. What is it all about? It is about the Second Amendment, something that, again, President Trump has been a staunch advocate for. Also, worth noting is that President Trump himself has repeatedly said that there are many violent agitators at these protests. And so it would make sense that if you live in a country with a Second Amendment, and the president himself has said there's a potential for violent agitators to infiltrate these peaceful protests, then perhaps Alex was taking a firearm to defend himself from the violence that the literal president has said goes on there. Then he asked, where are the local police? The local police cannot disarm someone who is standing on the sidewalk filming. They don't have that authority. They cannot simply delete the Second Amendment when it bothers them. Not local cops, not ICE, nobody. Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? From what? What action did Alex take that threatened the ICE officers? Nothing. He complied with everything they appeared to ask him to do. The mayor and governor called them off. I don't know what this is about. Many of these police were not allowed to do their job, and ICE had to protect themselves. To date, 0 ICE agents have been killed in Minneapolis, but many residents of Minneapolis have been killed by ICE agents conducting operations there. ICE and Border Patrol. Don't get your stuff right. ICE officers, Border Patrol agents. Even I screw it up because I'm pretty worked up about this. And then Trump proceeds to engage in a classic Soviet disinformation move. Whataboutism. He says, yeah, but what about Ilhan Omar, a congressman who, I don't know, who he alleges made a bunch of money while in Congress. Guys, if making money in Congress is a crime, then all of Congress should be in jail. And that's the suggestion. That's a suggestion and a recommendation. Then he asks where the tens of billions of dollars have been stolen from the great state of Minnesota. It's being recovered. The funds are being recovered now because all of the individuals, all of whom were U.S. citizens, that perpetrated the fraud are facing charges. So again, he claims billions of dollars missing. Again, it's not missing. They were located. Those individuals are on trial. Illegal criminals allowed to infiltrate the state through Democrats' open border policy. This is just lies. I don't know what else to tell you. Again,
there's no open borders.
Some of them, I'm sure, some of the people ICE has obtained, mostly coming out of Minnesota jails, are people with final orders of removal. But most stats say about 50% of these people are individuals with pending asylum claims, with valid visas, who have no criminal history. These things are just ridiculous. And then, here's the killer. Trump actually outs himself. He posts the weapon, which he claims was loaded. It's been unloaded. But what's fascinating to me is that this allows us to identify the silver grip, lets us identify completely that is the exact weapon that the ICE agent, the ICE officer or Border Patrol agent got their hands on. So we know
And actually,
that we have video.
actually, this isn't. That is a stock picture. That's been outed. This guy doesn't know the latest. That picture there is actually a stock picture from the web. So someone made a post on that. That is a stock. Yeah, that was a stock photo. That's a stock photo. It wasn't. This guy wasn't a picture of the gun. They grabbed the stock photo on the internet. So the dumbass who gave him the picture of the gun.
Alex was unarmed when he was shot in the back of the head, or in the back, right?
Back of the head.
And then he adds, if they were still there, you would see something far worse than you are witnessing today. This is untrue because, well, in 2024, Minneapolis was just a regular cold place. So this is absurd. Again, I showed you the video evidence of this absurdity. I showed you in contrast with the statements by the government. This was an execution that and by the way, guys, you can look. The Renee Good thing, I was incredibly, not generous. I acknowledge that while the law enforcement officers made some mistakes there, they ultimately were in a situation where they had a split second to decide if they were in lethal danger or not. And this is not that case. And I suspect these agents, instead of rethinking their tactics and decision making, asking themselves, hey, maybe these protesters, as much as I don't like them, still have First Amendment rights. They doubled down on their aggression because they were told by the vice president they have absolute immunity. Because the agent that committed, or the ICE officer that committed the shooting of Renee Good didn't even face an investigation. The DOJ didn't even do an investigation to clear him. They're like, no investigation required, which implies that this is seen as routine and even commendable operations, which is just insane. I don't even know what to make of this. This is
a Republican.
How can you? How can you even claim to uphold the Constitution?
This guy here. This guy here is a Republican, obviously. I mean, he was like justifying the case of, but here he is. Here's someone who now is completely like what the fuck, right, on it. Anyway, so, yeah.
Why can't Japanese people speak English, even after studying English for 10 years?
It's insane. Look what's going on here. They're building barricades.
Happening right now as we speak. The videos that I'm showing you have came directly to me from someone on the ground right now in Minneapolis at the location where the state-sponsored assassination of Alex Preddy took place. This is the people of Minneapolis responding. There are thousands of people right now as we speak that have taken over this entire area. They've blocked the roads. They got barricades up, as you saw. They're chanting, "Shut it down." And they have in fact shut it down. Thousands of people. They've put up an amazing tribute to Alex Preddy at the place where he was assassinated by state-sponsored terrorists. Happening right now as we speak. The videos that I'm showing you have came directly to me from someone on the ground right now in Minneapolis at the location where the state-sponsored assassination of Alex Preddy took place. This is the people of Minneapolis responding. There are thousands of people right now as we speak that have taken over this entire area. They've blocked the roads. They got barricades up, as you saw. They're chanting, "Shut it down." And they have in fact shut it down. Thousands of people. They've put up an amazing tribute to Alex Preddy at the place where he was assassinated by state-sponsored
Minneapolis. Symbol Zero. They killed a healer in the street. nurse helping vets every day. 37 years just trying to do right. Walked outside Saturday morning, saw our neighbors plight. Legal gun, legal permit, clean record on his name. Border patrol rolled up and they started the gang. Beat him to the ground in the freezing cold. Shot him in the snow, now the story's being told. Blood froze in the snow before the ambulance came. Stephen Miller called him terrorists to cover up the shame. Hey, said thank God for ice on the neck while a healer's body froze. America's new threat. His neighbor said he's kind, used to carry his old dog. Now his father can't get answers, lost up in the fog. This ain't immigration, this is execution. Blame, blood froze on the pavement in America's name. Fake for Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. They killed the healer in the snow. Fake for Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. How many more bodies before we say no? Renee Good was first a mother in a car. I shot through the window, now she's America's scar. 2 citizens dead in 17 days. 3,000 Navens running through the maze. Epstein files locked up, less than 1% release. 2 billion lost on crypto while the violence increased. They want chaos in the streets, want the blood to run. Declare the insurrection before the midterms come. Constitution in the shredder, justice getting ignored. All the nurses say the veterans got shot down by the horde. His crown was carried, his sentence was death. 10 below zero, took his final breath. They want you distracted, want you looking away while we steal the whole country in the light of day. Oh, we see you, we remember every name. Alex Jeffrey Pretty won't die in vain. Fake for Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. They killed the healer in the snow. Fake for Christians, pedo-loving Nazis. How many more bodies before we say no? Say his name, say your name, Renee. How many citizens gotta die?
It is not normal. It is not a democracy. No more Minnesota nights. No more Minnesota nights. No more Minnesota nights.
Minneapolis, 10 below zero. They kill a healer in the street. I was working nights at the VA. I see a nurse helping vets every day. 37 years just trying to do right. Walked outside Saturday morning, saw a neighbor's plight. Legal done, legal commit, clean record on his name. Border patrol rolled up and they started the game. Beat him to the ground in the freezing cold. Shot him in the snow, now the story's being told. Blood froze in the snow before the ambulance came. Stephen Miller called them terrorists to cover up their shame. Exit, thank God for ice on the net while a healer's body froze. America's new threat. His neighbor said he's kind, used to carry his old dog. Now his father can't get answers, lost up in the 17 days, 3,000 agents running through the maze. Epstein files locked up, less than 1% release. 2 billion lost on crypto while the violence increased. They want chaos in the streets, want the blood to run. Declare the insurrection act before the midterms come. Constitution in the shred, judges getting ignored, while the nurse who saved our veterans got shut down by the horde. Crimes, care, and the sentence was dead. 10 below zero to Kent's final breath. They want you distracted, want you looking away, while they steal the whole country in the light of day. But we still remember every name. Alex, Jeffrey, Freddie won't die in vain. Faithful Christians that are loving Nazis. They killed an eagle in the snow.
Well, there she is right there.
Faithful Christians that are loving Nazis.
This is the woman in the pink filming him. This is where he gets pushed. She gets pushed. She's like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's like, hands up, sprays him, pushes him down. He's trying to get her out of the way. He's trying to get her out of the way. And they tackle him. You know, they tackle him. Right? And the guy takes his gun. And this guy there in the black hoodie shoots him.
Strangers get sport in his grave. Never calling terrorist hours after he died. But the only crime he committed was he cared, he tried. Cared for the broken, cared for the sick. Now the government that failed him called the final trick. 10 below zero, blood frozen on the street. Alex, Jeffrey, Freddie, may your soul find peace. His father said, I keep your answers from anybody. His neighbor said he was kind, caring was his crime. The blood froze before the ambulance came.
Actually encouraging traffic to go through.
Not at all. Not at all. He is encouraging traffic to come through, but he's not looking to disrupt traffic, as you stated. But more so important is he's not providing any threat to law enforcement, as we see in this video.
He's distant from them. He's across the street. Okay, as the video continues, Freddie is now going to be walking toward the other two protesters and the federal agent with whom they're interacting across the street. The camera that's recording, you can see it joshes around a little bit, but then we see Freddie. That's him right there. Okay, you see him appearing to help one of the protesters. Then he's hit with what appears to be an irritant. We've seen a lot of these federal agents carrying pepper spray in and around.
Using offensive.
All right, so here, let's be clear on what we've got. We've got federal agents all around.
Gunning down at our bus stops. Orlinea macht south, freedom north. One shadow logo to the snarl, spitting pure poison Alex Jeffrey Pretty, I hear you nursing Revi Ward. Saving screaming vets from raw wars. You fucking started out filming raw raids. Steps into shield, 2 women bold. Agent sprays, bear mace, wild. Alex blocks it, pure gold. You blast him down, you yank his legal strap, scream gun. Like I lied, is I'm kneeling, begging, facing rough frost. You let fly, execution on camera. Heal a gun for standing tall, say his name. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, how many more must fall? Fake fuck, Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck, Christian, pedo loving Nazi. You drag Fallujah, terror, Tata streets of Minneapolis, gun down, raw healers protecting raw weak, you terrorize. Fake fuck, Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck, Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Mowgli, Bob, rapping, manic scream, losing it hard. Renee, Nicole, good, mom dropping her wheel out at school. Driving home slow, windows up, no threat, no tool. You swarm a car, no warning, just shots through our glass. 3 rounds rip, 1 to the head. She crashes fast, pulling away harmless. He executed her cold. Mother poet, citizen, blood on your badge. You bold, you claim self-defense lies while the kids wait alone. Say her name, reading cold good. You'll reap what you sow. Strips to raw drums, Fallujah kicks, flashbangs, terror you export. Now on our corner, same jackboot sport. Alex saved your war lads, then shielded raw weak. Renee, just a mom driving, you made her blood leak. Say the names, Alex Jeffrey Pretty, they need more good. How many more drop for ye bastard and crew? Disarmed nurse, executed mom, next could be you. How many Americans read in the snow before we rise up? Burn your empire low. How many more you folks never fucking again? Double time, chaos flow, no breath, raw river runs red and we're freezing. Minnesota gale, protests roll louder than real lies you tell. Vets wake to double ghosts abroad in home streets. Your wars come boomerang, you'll taste defeat. You did it over there, now you do it here to us. Healers and mothers executed in red dust. We see you fake Christians hiding behind your book. We're coming for you. You're paid or loving crooks. Say their names, Alex Jeffrey Pretty. People dead. I bury more, die before we burn your tower ground. Rise the fuck up, tear our bastards down. Fake fuck Christian, people loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian, people loving Nazi. Gun down, unarmed, Alex protecting Renee and her ride. Executed on video, your excuse is denied. Scratching over fading beat voices, horse gun down, our streets on fire. Our law, our day will come. Fuck you. Say their names, Alex rename, never forget.
Brave, scratching vicious. Gun down, rock bastards! Pour me a mock! Spitting pure poison. Alex, Jeffrey, Pretty, Nurse, and Robbie Ward. Holding veterans screaming from raw wars. You fucking started. Hands cool and burning nightmares. Giving broken lads breath. Walked his weed dog, Drew called out your race. You gave him death. You stripped his gun, left him unarmed. You cowardly cunts. Video shows it plain. Kneeling, begging, no threat, just guts. Disarmed on his own doorstep. Face down in rough frost. Then you executed him. You fucking fascist dogs who's counting raw cost. All three full riot roar. Crouch and aggression. Fake for Christian pedo. Loving Nazi. Fake fuck pedo. Loving Nazi. And drag follow just terror to the streets of Minneapolis. Run down Rahila stitching with lads you sent to die. Fake fuck Christian pedo. Loving Nazi. You muttering bastard. You muttering bastard. You muttering bastard. Smoke like bap. Rapid fire manic scream. Losing it. Running it too good. Just a citizen. No gun. No fight. Living quiet in the gap till you kick in the night. First shot. Second shot. Third straight through a temple. You sick fox. Third shot. Execution. Cold-blooded laughing as she drops. No warning. No mercy. And rough pouring freezing rain. Just your jackboots and badges. And your Bible beating refrain. A woman slaughtered the own we home. Blood on your flag. You were crosses. Why you murder your pedo protecting scumbags. Heavier beat drops. Harder voices overlapping in rage. Fake fuck Christian pedo. Loving Nazi. You gunned her down in cold blood. Third shot to my head. How many more citizens bleeding out dead? Fake fuck Christian pedo. Loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian pedo. Loving Nazi. You fucking murdering cunts. You fucking murdering cunts. Motar and Mogley, Bob Dryden bars, beat strips to raw drums, voices cracking with hate, Fallujah's home now, door kicks, flashbangs, screams, whoa, same terror you exported, now tearing up our dreams, Alex Stitch your war boys, brought them back from hell, and they just existed, your center there as well, how many more must die, you bastard and crew, disarmed, healer, executed woman, next one could be you, how many more Americans bleeding in the street before we rise up, burn your empire, drag you to defeat. How many more, you folks? Never again. Both rappers double time, pure chaos flows. Raw river runs thick red in Rock Chili, Minnesota. With Julas at the doors will never open again. Veterans, we can double ghost, Fallujah, and a rage. Your walls come home to roost. You'll pay for what you made. You did it over there, now you do it to us. Healers and citizens gunned down and with us. We see you fake for Christians hiding behind your book. We're coming for you, hey, hey. You pedo loving crooks. I'm full on slop. Repeat it till fake voice is shredded. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. Hey, fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. You gunned them down in cold blood, unarmed and executed. Some Alex Temple sharp grenade, your list ain't concluded. Hey, fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. Hey, fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. How many more must die before we burn your Tara ground? Rise the fuck up, tear our bastards down. Probate scratching over fading beat, voices hoarse. Gun down, Ross streets on fire. Our life, our loud, our day will come. Fuck you all. Below guttural snarl, spitting pure poison. Alex, Jeffrey, Pretty, Nurse, and Robbie Ward. Holding veterans screaming from raw wars. You fucking started. Hans cooling, burning nightmares, giving broken lads breath. Walked his speed dog, Drew called out your race, and you gave him death. You stripped his gun and left him unarmed. You cowardly cunts. Video shows it plain, kneeling, begging, no threat, just guts. Disarmed on his own doorstep, face down in rough frost, and you executed him. You fucking fascist dogs who's counting raw costs. All three full riot roar, crouch and aggression, fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. You drag Fallujah's terrors over the streets of Minneapolis. Gun down right here, stitching the lads you sent to die. Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. You murdering bastard, you murdering bastard, you murdering bastard. manic scream, losing it, running it, go good, just a citizen, no gun, no fight, living quiet in the gas till you kicked in the night. First shot, second shot, third straight through a temple, you sick fox. Third shot, execution, cold-blooded, laughing as she drops. No warning, no mercy, and pouring freezing rain. Just your jackboots and badges and your Bible beating refrain. A woman slaughtered in her own wee home, blood on your flag. You wear crosses while you murder your pedo protected scumbag. Heavier beat drops out of voices overlapping in rage. Fake fuck, Christian pedo loving Nazi. You gunned her down in cold blood. Third shots are ahead.
There's some Fox News.
Bleeding out dead. Fake fuck, Christian pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck, Christian pedo loving Nazi. You fucking murdering cunts. You fucking murdering cunts. Motar and Moglai, bap tried in bars, beat strips to raw drums, voices cracking with hate. Fallujah's home now, door kicks, flashbangs, screams, same terror you exported, now tearing up our dreams. Alex did your war boys, brought him back from hell. Renee just existed, you sent her there as well. How many more must die, you bastard and crew, disarmed healer, executed woman, next one could be you. How many more Americans bleeding in Ross Street before we rise up, burn your empire, drag you to the feet? How many more, you facts? Never again! Both rappers double time, pure chaos flow. I run stick red and rock chilling Minnesota winds. Rule the house at the door that'll never open again. Veterans wake the guns, break the double goals, Fallujah and rage the wars. Come home to roost, you pay for what you made. You did it over there, now you do it to us. Killers and citizens gunned down in red dust. We see you fake fuck Christians hiding behind your book. We're coming for you, for you, for you. Pedo loving crooks, final onslaught repeated till fade. Voices shredded. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. You gunned them down in cold blood, unarmed and executed. Some Alex Temple shot Renee, your list ain't concluded. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. How many more must die before we burn you to the ground? Rise the fuck up, tear our bastards down. Throw by scratching over fading beat, voices hoarse. Gun down, Ross Street's on fire. Allah, they will come fuck y'all. Down on the streets, kneecap style, pure West Belfast rage explosion. Filthy 808 slamming on distorted bowl run and Yulin pipe samples gone wrong. Riot beats that sound like CS gas canisters hitting concrete. Three voices going full feral. Molchara, guttural and venomous Mowgli, Batman and can screaming. DJ Proby scratching hooks and throwing in Irish curses. Thick Belfast phonetic diction. Fucking cunt, you bastard. Keep your dead on the way with a fuck yeah. No mercy, no chorus. Sing along, just pure unfiltered hate. From Crosby scratching vicious. Gun down. The bastards. Pouring in my shot sound. Free run over. Molchara low guttural snarl. Spin pure poison. Alex Jeffrey Preddy nursing raw VA ward. Holding veterans screaming from raw wars. You fucking started. Hands cool and burning nightmares. Giving broken lads breath. Walked his weed dog Jew, called out your race till you gave him death. You stripped his gun, left him unarmed, you cowardly cunts. Video shows it plain, kneeling, begging, no threat, just guts. Disarmed on his own doorstep, face down in rough frost. Then he executed in your fucking fascist dogs who's counting raw costs. All three full riot roar, crouch and aggression, fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. And drag Fallujah's terror streets of Minneapolis. Gun down the healer's ditching lies, you're sent to die. Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. You're murdering bastards, you're murdering bastards, you're murdering bastards. Mowgli bap, rapid fire, manic scream, losing it, running it, cool good, just a citizen. No gun, no fight, living quiet in the gap till you kicked in a third shot, second shot, third straight through a temple, you sick fox. Third shot, execution, cold-blooded, laughing as she drops. No warning, no mercy, and pouring freezing rain. Just your jackboots and badges and your Bible beating refrain. A woman slaughtered in her own way home, blood on your flag. You wear crosses while you murder your pedo protected scumbags. Heavier beat drops, harder voices overlapping in rage. Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. You gunned her down in cold blood. Third shots are ahead. How many more citizens bleeding out dead? Fake fuck Christian pedo, loving Nazi. Fake fuck from Mark Live Triton bars. Beat strips the raw drums. Voices cracking with hate for Lucia's home now. Door kicks, flashbangs, scream. Alex did your war boys, brought him back from hell. When they just existed, you sent her there as well. How many more must die, you bastard and crew? Disarmed, healer, executed woman, next one could be you. How many more Americans bleeding in the street before we rise up, burn your empire, drag you to defeat? How many more, you fucks? Never again! Both rappers double time, pure chaos flow. Proud River runs deep red in Rock Chili, Minnesota wind. Jewel house and a door that'll never open again. Veterans wait till the book goes salute. Your generation wars come home to roost. You'll pay for what you made. Yeah, you did it over there and you do it to us. Killers and citizens gunned down in us. We see your fake for Christians hiding behind your book. We're coming for ya. Your pedo loving crooks. Full onslaught repeated till fade. Voices shredded. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. You gunned them down in cold blood, unarmed and executed. Disarmed, Alex Temple shot Renee, your list ain't concluded. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi. How many more must die before we burn your town rock ground? Rise the fuck up, Sarah Boss doors down. Probate scratching over fading beat, voices horse. Gun down, last streets on fire. Allah, our day will come, fuck yeah. My streets. Pure West Belfast rage explosion. Filthy 808 slamming under distorted boron and Ulan pipe samples gone wrong. Riot beats that sound like CS gas canisters hitting concrete. Three voices going full feral. Mo Characurl and venomous Mowgli, Bop Mannequin screaming. DJ Provy scratching hooks and throwing in Irish curses. Thick Belfast phonetic diction, fucking cunt. Yeah, boss started. Stop. We pure dead on the way to fuck you. No mercy, no chorus, sing along, just pure unfiltered hate. Angel scratching, vicious, gun down, Rob Buster. I'll never see Trail West Belfast rage explosion. Filthy 808 slamming under distorted boron and Ulan pipe samples gone wrong. Riot beats that sound like CS gas, canisters hitting concrete. Three voices going full feral. Mochara, gorilla, and venomous Mowgli, Bop Mannequin screaming. DJ Provy scratching hooks and throwing in Irish curses. Thick Belfast phonetic diction, fucking cunt. You bastard and rata, we pure dead on the way to fucking no mercy, no coursing along, just pure unfiltered hate. Gun down, Rabaste. Polinia Maxa, South Frida North. Mochara, low guttural snarl, spitting pure poison. Alex, Jeffrey, Pretty Nurse, and Robbie I. Ward. Holding veterans screaming from Raw Wars, you fucking started. Hands cool and burning nightmares, giving broken lads breath. Walked his sweet dog Jewel, called out your race, and you gave him death. You stripped his gun, left him unarmed, you cowardly cunts. Video shows him plain, kneeling, begging no fed his guts. This sound on his own doorstep, face down in raw frost, and you executed him, you fucking fascist thugs who's counting rock costs. All three full riot roar, crowd chant aggression, fake for Christian, Peter Love and Ozzy. Fake for Christian, Peter Love and Ozzy. Yeah, track for Louisia's territorial streets of Minneapolis. Gun down, right healer, stitching religious and to die. Fake for Christian, Peter Love and Ozzy. Fake for Christian, Peter Love and Ozzy. You're muttering bastards, look like that, rapid fire man extreme, losing it. Renee Nicole good, just a citizen, no gun, no fight. Living quiet in her gap till you kicked in her night. First shot, second shot, third straight through her temple, you sick fox. Third shot, execution, cold-blooded laughing as she drops. No warning, no mercy, and raw pouring freezing rain. Just your jackboots and badges and your Bible beat and refrain. A woman slaughtered in her own, we home, blood on your flag. You wear crosses while you murder, you pay to protecting scumbags. Heavier beat drops, harder voices overlapping in rage. Fake Christian, Pedro Love and Nazi. You're gunned down in cold blood, third shot to her head. How many more citizens have been out dead? Fake Christian, Pedro Love and Nazi. Fake Christian, Fallujah's home now. Door kicks, flashbang, scream, same Terry exported now. Tearing up our dreams. Alex Snitch, your old boys, burning back from hell. Renee just existed, you sent her there as well. How many more must die? Your bastard and crew, disarmed, healed, executed woman. Next one could be you. How many more Americans bleeding in Ross Street before we rise up, burn your empire, drag you to defeat? How many more? You folks, never again. Both rappers, double time, pure chaos flow. Right river runs thick, red and raw. Chili, Minnesota, we made it open again. Fallujah and raw rage, your wars come home. The rules still pay for what you made. You did it over there, now you do it here to us. Heal citizens and gun down, dust we see. You're fake for Christians, hiding behind your book. We're coming for your pedo living crooks. Oh, full of stuff, repeat till fake voices ready. Fake Christian pedo love and Nazi. You're coming down in cold blood and not then executed. This time that temple shot Renee, your list ain't concluded. Fake Christian pedo love and Nazi. Fake Christian pedo love and Nazi. How many more must die before we burn you to the ground? Rise the fuck up, tear our bastards down. Prophets crashing over fading beats, voices hoarse. Guns down, our streets on fire. On my, our day will come. Fuck you!
He was gunned down in the streets by a fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. You brought Fallujah to our streets. Murdered the healers who mended the men you broke. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, nurse in the VA ward. Held veterans trembling from the wars you ignored. Hands that cooled fevered nightmares gave shattered men breath. Walked his dog in northern silence, spoke truth till his death. They took his gun, left him unarmed. Video burns it into the frosted storm. Defenseless on his own ground, then executed for the cause. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. You gunned him down in cold blood on the streets, unarmed, healer bleeding out while the city screams. Fake fucking Christian peddler loving Nazi. Renee Nicole, good citizen, no threat, no crime. Living quiet in her city till you stole her time. First shot, second shot, then the third to the temple. Third shot, the execution, cold-blooded and simple. No weapon, no warning in the freezing rain. Just boots and badges and your lying refrain. A woman murdered in her own home by the empire that wears your name. Fucking Christian peddler loving us.
Rights to record law enforcement activity.
He was in the scene actively impeding and assaulting law enforcement to the
But that's not illegal. He wasn't impeding it. He was filming it, which is a legal thing to do in the United States.
Okay, let's don't freeze frame adjudicate this now.
It's not freeze frame. He's Zoom. Listen to these guys. Let's listen to this guy. Let's go back.
Joining me now is Marilyn Converson.
Look at this. Here
We
you go.
have this breaking news about the growing backlash over the Trump administration's statements over the fatal shooting of Alex Pretty in Minneapolis by ICE agents. Newly released affidavits from 2 witnesses, as well as video from the scene, appearing to contradict the administration's claim that officers fired in self-defense after Pretty brandished a handgun. Here's what law enforcement officials said on the Sunday talk shows today.
I think it's deeply concerning, the things that are being said. This is an individual that was a city resident. It appears that he was present exercising his First Amendment rights to record law enforcement activity.
He was in the scene actively impeding and assaulting law enforcement to the point.
But that's not illegal. He wasn't
Dana,
impeding it. He was filming it, which is a legal thing to do in the United States of America.
Dana, let's don't freeze frame adjudicate this now. He was there for a reason, and that reason was to impede law enforcement.
No.
Joining me now
He
is
wasn't there to
Congressman
impede. He
Jamie
was there to
Raskin.
film.
He's a member of the Judiciary Committee. Welcome back, Congressman. We're glad to have you. So the administration called Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist, saying ICE officers acted in self-defense because Preddy wanted to, quote, massacre them. But an officer removed Preddy's gun before two other officers opened fire, and videos appear to contradict the administration's account. So how do you respond to the administration's version of events?
Well, America saw some domestic terrorism there, and it was domestic state terrorism. It was the government engaged in the suppression of speech, in the suppression of assembly, in the suppression of the press, in the suppression of the right to petition for government, for redress of grievances. All of that was happening, and we also saw a violation of the Second Amendment right in Minnesota to have both concealed carry and open carry, which is the law there, and that became the basis for first confiscating his weapon and then shooting him 10 times. So the way I see it is that ICE and the Trump administration are involved in the destruction of the social contract right now. The reason we have a social contract is because presumably we will be safer as citizens within political organized society and government than we would be outside of it. But now the Trump administration is destroying every part of the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the right for there to be a search warrant based on probable cause issued by a neutral magistrate, a judge, and not issued by an executive branch official reporting to the president. The Fifth Amendment, which protects our life, our liberty, our property against deprivation without due process of law, all the way through the Ninth Amendment, all the rights of the people that are considered fundamental, and the 10th Amendment, the rights of the states fundamentally to govern. I mean, who really does law enforcement in America? Overwhelmingly, it's state and local government that protect us against murder, rape, armed robbery, assault, and so on. That's not what ICE does. That's not what Border Patrol does. So they should get back in their lane, leave the good people of Minneapolis and Minnesota alone. And we need to restore the constitutional balance. And in terms of the moment that we're in, we've got an opportunity because of this massive violation of both First Amendment rights and Second Amendment rights to build a cross-party, cross-ideological political coalition that stands strong for the Constitution of the United States.
Okay. Wow, I was glad to listen to all of that. That said, there's a federal judge who issued an order blocking the Trump administration from destroying or altering evidence related to the shooting. That's after Minneapolis police were blocked from the scene and state officials sued after being denied access to evidence. How can the public be assured that a fair and thorough investigation into this matter will be conducted?
Well, we've got confidence in Keith Ellison, the wonderful Attorney General of Minnesota, Governor Walz, the mayor of Minneapolis. We are going to support them leading the investigation and prosecuting any murder or violent assaults that take place there. It is absolutely false what the vice president has been saying, and other people in the Trump administration, that there's absolute immunity that somehow attaches to these ICE agents who were brought in with a $50,000 bonus and a mask and the right to operate anonymously. That is false. They have limited immunity, and it's limited to when they act within federal law and reasonably and appropriately in the context. And if they step outside of federal law and they act improperly, they can be prosecuted. So that word needs to go out. And I would also just like to say, as the ranking member on the House Judiciary Committee, when it comes to whistleblowers on all of this stuff, we are all ears. We sent a letter recently demanding from the Department of Justice, demanding from Homeland Security, information about all of the January 6th insurrectionists who have gone into ICE, who've gone into the Department of Justice. They've not turned it over yet, but we're certainly starting to hear from whistleblowers, and we encourage whistleblowers to come forward and tell the truth. If you read Alexei Navalny's book called Patriot, in his fight against tyranny and authoritarianism in Russia, he said the one thing that every democracy-loving citizen can do every day is to come forward and tell the truth. And that is the one thing that will lead to the crumbling and the erosion of authoritarianism.
But how much can the public rely on courts to put a stop to what this administration is undertaking, not just in Minneapolis, but other cities and with other matters? Because it takes time to sort through matters. Is there any more direct approach? Can Congress do anything on that front?
Well, we should be legislating a comprehensive civil rights bill that will protect every citizen's right to use their cell phone cameras to document what is taking place with government agents in the street. Now, that's implied by the First Amendment, but we should still spell that out. We should spell out that people, when they are lawfully carrying a firearm, may not be apprehended and have their guns confiscated and then be subject to deadly assault by the government. So we should be legislating to reinforce the Bill of Rights at this point. The courts are standing up overwhelmingly at the district court level and the appeals court level. It is true we have a serious problem when it gets up to the stacked and packed and gerrymandered Roberts Court. All of which is to say that we're not going to have, one magic solution to the problem that ails us. It's not going to be the courts or the House or the Senate or the people in the movements. It's going to be all of it together. Everybody needs to be working in unison to defend constitutional democracy and freedom in the country against this authoritarian clampdown and the unleashing of state terror against our people in the communities of America.
My last question, will it be worth it if Senate Democrats vote down the funding of ICE and therefore create a partial government shutdown as soon as the end of this week?
All right. I'm ending this stream. I'll be back. I don't like this long stream. So anyway, I wanted to share that video this morning. Shared it. I'm about to jump in the car, take the kids to school. I'll be live again.